Very good morning to all the viewers of Q News English with Vijay Rana and Bharat from our studios out here in Telangana, Hyderabad. And to begin with, the headlines of our very own Shanarthi Telangana starts with India abstains from UN vote on Gaza truce. So there was a voting done, an emergency session was called by UN and voting was conducted as to should the ongoing retaliation by Israel on on Hamas, should that be stopped, or on Gaza, should that be stopped, because thousands of tons of explosives have been utilized by now by Israel, and they are hell bent on actually flattening the Gaza Strip entirely, and then they will take on the Hamas, which is the operators are hiding in tunnels for Hamas. Now, the UN resolution which garnered 121 votes in favor and 44 abstentions and 14 member states voting against it, demanded immediate, continuous, sufficient and unhindered provision of essential goods and services to civilians throughout the Gaza Strip. So what the demand was, they wanted help to be extended for the civilians. So what about extending help to the civilians of Israel who have been kept as hostages by the Hamas? Now, terrorism is a malignancy and knows no borders, nationality or race, and the world should not buy into any justification of terror acts. India has told the UN General Assembly as it abstained on a resolution. Prior to this, whenever on this issue of Israel versus Palestine, India voted in favor of helping hand, extending a helping hand to the Palestinians. But this time, India is amongst the list of abstentions. Abstentees. Basically, they did not participate in the voting itself. And India chose to abstain from voting on the Jordanian drafted resolution protection of civilians and holding the legal and humanitarian obligations. The resolution sought an immediate humanitarian truce in the Israel-Hamas conflict and unimpeded humanitarian access to Gaza Strip. Now, what they want is, they want this fight to truce is to put an end to this fight and then, help the people in Gaza Strip. The resolution was adopted by 193-member General Assembly with 121 votes in favor, 14 abstentions and 14 member states voting, 44 abstentions and 14 member states voting against it. It's called for an immediate, lasting and sustainable humanitarian truce leading to a halt in hostilities. Additionally, it demanded the prompt, uninterrupted and adequate provision of essential goods and services to civilians throughout the Gaza Strip. Now, who is going to provide that? Do you think Israel is going to provide these facilities again to the, to the perpetrators of the crime, to the ones who bombarded their civilians with 5,000 rockets, who did not leave any sea route, who came from the aerial route, who came from the land, and that is how they attacked Israel. Now, are they going did Israel start this? No, it is not Israel which started this. It is, Hamas, the group which started this, and now they are facing the consequences. And you can look at the picture. They are hell-bent on flattening Gaza. It's evident the kind of bombing that has been done, be it a mosque or be it anything. These are the civilian areas from where the rockets were fired, and now they are all rubbles, and more pounding is being done. And Israel has also declared now they are ready for the ground attack, and most probably by the time I'm reading this news out to you, it might have started as well. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced on Saturday that a second stage in the conflict with Hamas has been initiated. So I was absolutely right. So by this time, those 3 lakh soldiers will be on ground. They will be inspecting all the rubbles, they'll be inspecting the tunnels, and there will be combing operations as well. So Hamas has been initiated. This stage involves deploying ground forces into Gaza and expanding attacks from the ground, air and sea. So that's how you need to retaliate, because these are the three modes that they had used earlier to attack Israel, and now Israel is retaliating from the ground, from air and sea as well. Now he stated that the intensity of conflict will further increase as preparations are made for a broader ground invasion into Gaza. So the intensity is further going to increase. Now whatever bombing that is going to happen, their fighter jets are going to bomb the area. Furthermore, they will increase the intensity. So that is what he wants to do. Netanyahu acknowledged that this phase would be long and challenging. The extensive bombardment severely disrupted communications in Gaza, isolating the region's 2.3 million residents and giving the Israeli military control over the narrative in this new stage of conflict. Now it's the Israeli army which has the control over the narrative, because nobody else can even enter Gaza, and if you are entering at your own risk. So for all those who want to support Hamas are most welcome to go and support, and they will be taken to task by the Israeli forces. And moving on, Congress will form government in Telangana state, says DKS. Who is DKS? Okay. Senior Congress leader and Karnataka Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar exuded and confidence on Saturday that the Congress would emerge victorious in the upcoming Telangana elections and fulfill its electoral commitments. He brushed aside allegations made by BRS, asserting that the promises made by Congress in Karnataka were indeed being upheld. So, of late we have seen Chief Minister KCR, what he has been saying, that Congress did not keep its promises in Karnataka, owing to which Mallanna was very much ready. Q News was ready to go and do a reality check in Karnataka. We were seeking permissions to conduct a reality check as to how successful those promises have been on the ground. Now that is still, being yet to be decided. That is what has been reacted to. He has been reacting to that, and now let's see the reaction has come from Bangalore or Karnataka as well. Speaking at an election rally in Tandur, and Parigi Shivakumar emphasized how Congress, now he is here to support Congress. Congress has also initiated its campaign post Dussehra, and he is supporting Congress and the leaders of Congress in Telangana as well. Now during that during that rally, he said Congress leader Sonia Gandhi had met the long-standing demand of the people for a separate Telangana state. So yet again, Sonia Gandhi is being accredited of creation of Telangana state a decade ago. He urged the electorate to express their gratitude towards her for this significant achievement. Now Shiv Kumar pointed out that the Congress had consistently delivered on the promises it made during the UPA government's tenure. He then questioned whether BRS President and Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao had fulfilled the commitments he had made a decade ago. So he has cross-questioned the government in Telangana that what about the commitments that they had made, or did they complete, or did they fulfill those commitments? And highlighting the successful implementation of Congress promise in Karnataka, Shiv Kumar challenged KCR and his son KTR to visit Karnataka to witness the accomplishments firsthand. He offered to organize a bus trip. So a bus trip is now being offered by the Congress as well. bus trip for them and their ministerial team, underlining the Karnataka had consistently fulfilled its commitment to the people. Shiv Kumar drew attention to the 6 electoral assurances presented by Congress in Telangana, expressing confidence in the party's prospects for victory. He emphasized that these 6 guarantees surpassed the 5 pledges made by the party in Karnataka. So they have added one more guarantee for Telangana. You know, it's going to be better for Telangana. That's what the claim is. And in the news further, we have Ambani gets death threat, told to pay rupees 200 crores. Reliance Industries chairman Mukesh Ambani has received a fresh death threats via email, threatening to shoot him if he fails to pay rupees 200 crores. Now, who is that? Now, police said on Saturday, police said that this time the emailer raised his demand from rupees 20 crore to rupees 200 crores due to lack of response to the previous email. All right, so even nobody responded to his email, and we are going to do so. We are going to just ignore him for now. And what do we have here from Jairam Ramesh? He says the Prime Minister was to address the election rally in Mizoram on 30th of October. Now, Mizoram was, it underwent a lot of unrest because of the ethnic clashes between two groups, the Kukis and Metis, owing to which, but he has cancelled his visit. Could it be, because questions would be raised that he had not found time to visit the deeply troubled neighboring state that has been on the edge? Jairam Ramesh, Congress General Secretary, says so. So he says Prime Minister Modi did not visit this Mizoram then, because when it was burning, when there was violence, and now he has cancelled his rally also, which was scheduled to be held on October 30. So is that the case? Because why he did not visit this state then? See, well, that's a valid point, but Amit Shah did go there. He had representation out there, and he has his own schedule as well. So he had his delegates visiting the state, and Prime Minister condemned the Hamas attack but couldn't agree to UN resolution seeking a truce. So we have comment from Asaduddin Owaisi, AIMIM, All India Majlis-e Ittihadul Muslimin. Now what he has to say here is, Prime Minister condemned the Hamas attack but couldn't agree to a UN resolution seeking a truce. See, India does not have a role to play out there, India cannot ask Israel to stop the retaliation. India is helping Palestine by sending aid. India has sent the supplies that will be required by these civilians. But India will not ask, any country to stop retaliating against terrorism. The primary reason behind that is, Mr. Owaisi, now what if Pakistan, from the northern front, what if they attack India like this? With, let's say, they have a nuclear missile as well. So let's say they barrage let's say 1,000 rockets into Indian territory. What will India do? Or if any country comes back and says India should not be retaliating, India will retaliate 10 times or 1,000 times. India would retaliate with 1,000 times, into 1,000 times. Now they'll be pounding the entire territory. That's what they need to do. And while they are doing so, if any country comes and says, why don't you stop retaliating? Would you like it? So that is why India will not do this, because India feels Israel has the right to retaliate. So India is not going to comment on that. He spoke to Jordanian king a few days ago, but abstained on a resolution that was introduced by Jordan. It is shocking that India abstained on the UN resolution for a humanitarian truce. It is not shocking, it is actually welcoming, and India should mind its own business. It should not intervene in Israel's, attempt to eliminate the terrorism. All right, now moving on, what do we have here from Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, the senior Congress leader? She says, I'm shocked and ashamed that our country has abstained from voting for a ceasefire in Gaza. Our country was founded on the principles of non-violence and truth. Uh, okay, and principles for which our freedom fighters laid down their lives. These principles form the basis of the constitution that defines our nationhood. Well, on this, our country was founded on the principles of non-violence. I do not agree, on a personal basis. Please do let me know, in the comment section as well, if, India was founded on the basis of non-violence. India existed, it's been thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. We witnessed Mahabharata as well, one of the deadliest wars that history has recorded. We have evidence also. And I don't think that's non-violence. And all our, India has been, there cannot be peace without arms. So you need to have your army, and it should be a strong one at that. And let's see. We have Dhanaji Nayak, we have Ramesh Malga, we have Saidulu, along with Prashant and Lingaswamy, Sai Nandu. All right, and Ganesh Rai also, everybody wishing us. Bro, please interview Hanumandala Jhansi Reddy, convey to Mallanna. All right, so Saidulu wants us to interview Jhansi Reddy. Okay, definitely it will be conveyed to Mallanna. That is why I read it out. And thank you so much for joining in, people. Now moving on to the news, wherein we have Priyanka Gandhi says India was, all our rulers, everybody, if you see Maharana Ranjit Singh, if you see Maharana Pratap, or if you see Chhatrapati Shivaji, India existed even then, madam. India very much existed, and we were not, what did she say? Non-violence was not, if India says, let's follow non-violence, we will not be, then imagine the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Imagine what China would be doing to you. Imagine what Pakistan is going to do. Imagine what Sri Lanka will also try to occupy the southern part of India. That is going to be Tamil Nadu. It is going to merge with Sri Lanka, madam. So, and our freedom fighters laid down the non-violence is not the, Mahatma Gandhi said, he said that ahimsa paramo dharma. He was, I think, the only follower. And, what about, and he was not the only leader, madam. Although he, your last name and his last name is the same. But he was not the only leader. There were people like Bhagat Singh, Rajguru, Sukhdev, people like Subhash Chandra Bose who laid down their lives, but they took to the armed struggle against the British. Chandrasekhar Azad, so to say, so to name one of them. So all these people actually laid down their lives, and they were all armed. So all these people also contributed. There was an equal contribution of everybody. In fact, more of, people, I can name the number of people who laid down their lives with arms. They actually took to arms, and that was an armed rebel. The entire army was made by Subhash Chandra Bose. Why are you, not noticing that? And why are you only following the principle that was followed by Mahatma Gandhi? If somebody does that to me, if somebody slaps on one cheek, I'm not going to offer the other cheek. I'm going to slap him back, and I'm going to kick, punch as well. That's what I've been trained for, and that's what you should be doing. And because there is also a saying in Hindi, zulm karne se zulm sehne wala zyada bada gunegar hota hai. So, BSF slams unprovoked firing. The Border Security Force on Saturday lodged a stern protest with the Pakistan Rangers concerning the recent episode of mortar shelling directed to the forward posts and villages along the international border. The cross-border shelling initiated by Pakistan Rangers, marking the first significant ceasefire violation in 2021, commenced at approximately 8 p.m. Why are they actually going and registering this concern with the Rangers in Pakistan. There should not be any Rangers only, if they have initiated the fire, where is the retaliation power of India? Don't we have the arsenal to, counter these, small, what they do, the mortar shelling? You should actually use your guns as well, because they are the ones who actually started it, and it was unprovoked. And if they want to, break the ceasefire, they are most welcome. What Israel has been doing, you should do precisely the same thing. This resulted injuries to BSF Jawan and a woman. A wing commandant level flag meeting was held between BSF and Pakistan Rangers. Why a meeting was held? Retaliation should have been there. There should have been at least 4,000 to 5,000 dead out there in Pakistan. Then only they will keep quiet. Now moving on, Congress will form government in Telangana. Okay, we went through that. Ambani gets death threat. Okay, we went through that as well. And ED questions PAs of Malik. So yesterday we saw Enforcement Directorate actually arrested Malik, and now his personal assistant is also being questioned out there. The Enforcement Directorate has begun questioning the present and former personal assistant of West Bengal Forest Minister and former State Food Supplies Minister. So there was a scam associated with him as well. The food supply scam, since he was the minister, the former State Food and Supplies Minister, Jyoti Priya Malik. So whatever you give them, And we have another news from West Bengal. In fact, Lok Sabha panel asked Moitra to appear on 2nd November. Now, Lok Sabha's Ethics Committee on Saturday turned down TMC MP Mahua Moitra's request to call her after 5th of November. So she was requesting to meet the Ethics Committee on after the 5th, but she has been told to report on November the 2nd. And Mahua Moitra, what was the issue? While allowing a 2 days extension, as the panel asked her to appear before it for oral evidence on November 2nd in relation to the cash for query allegation against her. So there is also an allegation against her that she actually took cash for query. In a statement, committee chairman BJP MP Vinod Kumar Sonkar conveyed that they will not consider any further requests for extension due to gravity of the matter, emphasizing its impact on the dignity of Parliament and its members. Earlier, Moitra had written to committee on Friday expressing her inability to attend the scheduled October 31st meeting. So, and what do we have here? We have unrest brews in Telangana State Congress. So the second list has been announced. It was announced yesterday, and owing to which lot of people, lot of party workers or lot of leaders in the party were not happy about it. A day after Congress released its second list featuring 45 candidates for the forthcoming elections in Telangana, dissatisfaction erupted among those who were left out. Numerous hopefuls have tendered their resignations from the party, while others have indicated their intentions to contest as independent candidates. In various electoral constituencies, leaders who had expected nominations have openly expressed their dissatisfaction and urged the party to reconsider its choices. Tensions reached a peak at the Gandhi Bhavan, the party's headquarters, where supporters of P. Vishnuvardhan Reddy, an aspiring candidate for the Jubilee Hills seat. Now from Jubilee Hills, it's going to be, I think, Muhammad Azharuddin. I think so, as far as I read, resorted to throwing bricks and tearing down banners and posters featuring TPCC President A. Revant Reddy. Vishnuvardhan Reddy questioned the party's decision to grant tickets to multiple family members while overlooking his candidacy. He posed a question: if Congress can allocate 2 tickets to leaders from a single family, why have I been excluded? This reference was made regarding the tickets issued to family members of Menampalli Hanumant Rao and N. Uttam Kumar Reddy. Now, they both were a part of BRS, the ruling party, and they moved out, and both of them have been given tickets. They moved out because his son, Hanumant Rao's son was not being given the constituency that he wanted to contest from, owing to which both father and son duo resigned, and now they have got shelter in Congress, and both of them have got the ticket from their favorite constituencies. Now in Kukatpalli, G. Vengal Rao expressed his objection to the nomination of Bandi Ramesh. This led to the protests by Vengal Rao supporters against the TPCC leadership, eventually prompting a visit by a senior party official in an effort to pacify agitated party workers. Similarly, supporters of C.K. Reddy in Mungode burned an effigy of Komti Reddy Rajgopal Reddy, who received the party's nomination instead. And Jagana Raghava Reddy of Warangal issued two-day ultimatum for the party to reconsider his application. He warned that the failure to nominate him could negatively impact the party's prospects in 6 constituencies. In Parakala, Ingula, Venkata Rama Reddy declared his refusal to support the nominated candidate, R. Prakash Reddy, suggesting a potential independent run. TPCC General Secretary M. Satyavati, who had aspired to secure a nomination from Asifabad, announced her intention to resign, according to the party, of neglecting tribal communities. In Yella Reddy, Subhash Reddy, after failing to secure a ticket, broke down in front of his supporters and cautioned that the party would regret its decision. So a lot of threat also being given. Former MLA E. Shekhar also revealed his plans to contest as a rebel candidate from Jadcherla constituency, alleging that the ticket allocation was not based on any formal survey. And also we have an accident that killed 35 people in Egypt, and in this accident, there was some oil that was spilled on the road and the cars rammed into each other, and the fire also broke out and it killed 35 people. And Kalipili taxis go off the road, giving to the newer model and app-based cab services. Mumbai Premier Padmini taxis, fondly called Kalipili, will now bow out from Mumbai street. It used to be the Shan of Mumbai. So the taxis painted in yellow and black, and now they will not be plying anymore. And moving on, Mike Pence drops out of US President's bid, and also government steps in to check onion price rise. So imposed $800 per ton minimum export price on onion to buy additional 2 lakh tons for buffer. So these are the steps that government is taking. So there is an additional $800 worth will be charged if you are trying to export the onions. So government wants to retain the onion for common man, and its export will actually incur $800 per ton more. And we have Australia overcome New Zealand by 5 runs in highest scoring match, and heads bulldozing 100 in crunch movements helped Australia negate marvelous century by Rachin. So we have Australia, they are back in action, and their form is also back, and they beat the New Zealand. And the match was actually, there was Kiwis could only manage 383. So 383, how much did they make? Total score of 771 runs in one match was made. So that's a huge score, and collectively scored by South Africa. All right, so that's the history about this. So with that, people, we would like to call it a day. Although I had other newspapers also listed out here. BRS questions BJP on OBC community. KTR ridicules BJP's BC for CM promise. And I would like to get into this as well quickly. I think I have 1 minute. The BRS on Saturday pillared the BJP's promise of making a leader from BC communities to the Chief Minister if they come to power, with the ruling party's working president K.T. Rama Rao pointing out that the BJP government at the centre had refused to have a ministry for a community despite repeated pleas. So they were requesting an entire ministry for the BC community, but BJP did not acknowledge. That is what he's referring to. Israeli assault dangerous. SISI tells Modi, and PM government to boost jobs in all sectors. And DKS invites KCR to Karnataka on Congress 5Gs, 5 guarantees. Rahul pledges free education if re-elected in Chhattisgarh. So yet another promise coming in there from Rahul Gandhi. And India bags 111 medals, biggest ever haul for the country. So that's the biggest achievement that India has ever got in para-athletics. And history is being rewritten out there for India. What the Hindu has to say, Hezbollah, Lesbon Shia militant group. So there is, it's about the UNGA, and Israel expands ground war and release 12 fishermen detained in Maldives. So that's the call from MK Stalin. With that, people, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. This is Vijay Rana signing off from our studios out here in Telangana. Jai Hind.